Recording. Okay, so here I am, Veena Singh. I'll begin with the holistic report card, and we are going to discuss the how the CBSE has implemented this and what is expected from the teachers to take up and in what way it should be taken up. So let me share my PPT and then we begin. I hope the PPT is there on your screens. Just one confirmation I will require.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Visible.
Let me start with this slideshow. So this is like as we were just talking about that it talks about 360-degree assessment of the learners. Like we are not only going to mark them for the answers, the quantitative aspect of the student, but also the emotional quotient, the social kind of development which he has, and talking about different angles, like if he, whether like talking about foundational stage, whether he is able to develop the quality of positive learning habits. So this is actually done by Parak. Parak, I can say, different team which is into developing this report card. And what is the meaning of Parak? As you can see, it is performance assessment review and analysis of knowledge for holistic development. So they have actually prepared report cards for all the stages. Now, from where it all has begun. It is like National Education Policy 2020, which has restructured the education instead of 10 plus 2. Now it is talking about 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, which is covering 3 to 18. Earlier, if we know that we used to, our KV or say CBSE used to take care of from when the child was in class 1. But now they are going to take care of the child before that. So let's see how it is. This is the model which is the now currently to be implemented and already it is in process. So 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 model, like talking about foundational stage, talking about, so we'll try to understand each stage in detail. First, we talk about foundational stage. Here, the age group is going to be 3 to 8 years of age, and where it is going to be provided with the flexible, multi-level, and play-based, can say learning. So, talking about the foundational stage, this is going to be 5 years, and here the grades which are going to be covered. BV1. Now, what is BV1 here? It is Bal Vatika, which we were calling earlier like pre-nursery, nursery and KG1, or there were different terminologies used in different schools. But now it is going to be Bal Vatika 1, Bal Vatika 2 and Bal Vatika 3 and then class 1 and 2. So it is 5 years. So what in the foundational stage, the domains which are going to be covered, that is the physical development, socio-emotional and ethical development. That how is adjusting with the friends, how he or she is there in the family. Then talking about cognitive development. Previously, what was done? All the cognitive developments were marked in the form of the worksheet, exams and all. But now we are also going to take care of the language and literacy, like knowing about their own language, mother tongue, and knowing about English as it is. This is going to continue. Then coming to aesthetic and cultural development, that is the child knowing their own culture, not moving far from them. And then the fifth, that is 5.1, talks about positive learning habits. So this positive learning habit is what? Like whether the child is ready to learn new things. That way the child needs to be prepared. So let's see next. Now, what has NCF 2023 to say about the assessment in the foundational stage? That is, they say that the child is not going to be assessed by examination, but they will be assessed by the observation, by the teacher's observation, by the peer observation, because this is how the report card says, and this is how it is going to be filled. So let's see. Like now, here one more thing is very important. Like if we are talking about physical development, if we are talking about positive learning habits, there will be certain curricular goals. There will be certain competencies further we expect that will be achieved. And finally, what will be the learning outcomes? So they are going to be tested or say can be graded not in numbers, but it will be qualitative. So it is more so it is being said that holistic report card is about what? It is qualitative assessment of the child, not the quantitative. So here, this is very important to understand the table which I have shown here, the lower table you can see. It says awareness, sensitivity and creativity, which now any topic, any like if I simple activity, I would say, okay, the child is going to talk on say talking about the habits related to can say cleanliness. So if I ask a child to speak, I can grade the child into three categories. If the child is able to tell me or give me a very basic thing, then I'm going to grade this awareness in stream. But if he is able to tell me a little more, it is going to be mountain. And if he is able to tell me everything related to the good habits, then he will be marked as sky. Sensitivity is like how much, like if we, whether he is helping the peers in achieving this goal. So sensitivity here, and if somebody is creating problem, then that child is going to be in stream category. If the child is helping and outrightly going like out of the way and helping others, so will be in the under the sky. And creativity, like something more than we give the child is able to tell, then he is going to be categorized accordingly. So there are different parts of the report card which I am going to discuss here page by page. Now there are few terms. Before we begin with actually seeing the report card online, there are few terms which we need to understand, like UDIs. Now what is UDIs? It is going to collect information for the recognized or unrecognized schools imparting formal education from pre-primary to class 12. This is going to be mandatory. Then comes the APAR. This is again APAR ID, which is going to be created for individual kids, students, or the learners. It stands for Automated Permanent Academic Account Registry. Like the CBSE talking about DigiLockers for a student, where all the certificates which he earns throughout his life is going to be is going to be stored. So it is a PAR ID through which the child or the learner can access. So the areas of assessment in HPC, what are they? Like the learner centric. This is going to be learner centric, the individual person. It is also going to track, that means a complete record, not just in class 12. It's not going to be independently judged in class 12. But when the child reaches in class 12, his whole history from BV1, Bal Bhatika 1 is going to be seen. So, and they are going to be kept as a record. So, and inclusive, that means the special children with the special needs, they're also going to be taken here in a particular way. It is going to interdisciplinary. That means at higher level, you know that now a complete freedom is going to be there in selecting the subjects. It's not that the science student cannot take any subject from the humanities. So like that, the freedom and depending on the capacity of the child is going to be there. So as I mentioned earlier, qualitative feedback. This is not about the quantitative feedback, but very importantly and compulsorily qualitative feedback. And there is going to be a flexibility here. Like as we are just now, I said, like when the child grows up, the flexibility in choosing the subjects is going to be there, and already it is in process. Bits and parts, as we can see, it has already been implemented. Talking about vocational education subjects, which have been introduced recently by the CBS. Then the last, which is very important, that builds on self-awareness and self-esteem. In the report card, when they write about themselves and they are going to like see it back, like talking about, okay, how, what I know, what I don't know. So they can talk about this and they can themselves kind of progress. So here, I'll just stop this PPT and take you to the tour of the report card for the foundational stage, and let's have a look, a quick look over there. Okay, so I'll just share the report card, which I have already opened. I'll take up first the foundational stage, and I have directly opened. Okay, I think the sheet has opened, the report card has opened. Please confirm, everybody can see it?
Yes, ma'am. From
Okay.
where have you downloaded this?
It is available on NCERT site. You can just type Parak and then go to the activities. There you will see HPC report card. It is available online. So see this, I'm taking you directly to the page 24 because it's a 80, around 69 to 70 page document, which we cannot do here. But as I was talking, which are the important parts? Well, those are introductory and you can say a guide for the teachers initially. So I'm directly taking you to this page. See, it says, talks about individual. The child is going to have pasted the, can say picture here, telling the age here, the birthday, the address, the family, and then his goals, like what he wants, because small children, they want to become something, but when they reach class 12, the kind of change can be seen. So this thing can be completely tracked if it is in the record form. Talking about the friends, what kind of friends he is into, he likes to make, favorite color, food, sports, flowers, subject, etc. So this actually, and this way we can also understand the change which is going to occur with the change in time. Teachers' feedback, the important component. As I said, this is going to be labeled here. The stream is down at lowest level of understanding or knowledge. Then a little higher is mountain. And then sky, which is the extreme level, that is the highest level of knowledge to which the child has reached. Talking about self-assessment, then peer assessment, the friend, because the teacher will have to take the children, talk to them, and teacher will have to make them understand about the importance of this feedback, and the honest feedback has to be given. Parents, a component is also there, where they're talking about the kind of resources which are available to the child, and then that also will help understand the teacher about the children, so what kind of condition they are into. That is also going to help the teachers understand if there is some lacking, why. And then can say required, can say changes, or say we can take care of those lackings with the help of the parents. That is the main idea. It is not that we have to talk about, okay, this is lacking. It is about the progress we finally wish to take. So I'll take again, stop this because that is what I wanted to share with you. The most important thing. Now we can come back to the PPT. I'll just share this, share the PPT again. And we'll again begin with the next slide. Okay, here we are with the slide. I'm going to go, sorry, no, it should have been from the current. Okay, anyhow, I'll just tap and we'll go to the required slide. This we have done. This is also covered. Activity 1 we did. Now talking about preparatory stage. That is age group 8 to 11. Duration is going to be 3 years and the grades which are going to be there is grade 3, 4 and 5. Here now interesting to note that the child, you can say the examination would be introduced and formal examination, that progress of the child will be marked from the formal examination, which is already into the practice. Now, in this, like when I was doing a kind of research for this PPT, I came across this and I wanted to share. This is very important. This is something like we are talking about Indian tradition, which talks about five-fold development, how the different layers of you can say a person grows. It's not like, and it is from 3 years only the kind of changes which take place, which is physical, related to mental, related to social aspect, and which is helping in the growth of the child. So this is the Panchakosha or 5 sheets, like talking about the Anamaya, which is physical layer, Pranamaya, that is the energy layer, Manomaya, that is the mind layer, and Vinamaya, that is the intellectual layer, and Anandamaya, that is the inner self. So this report card is actually trying to reflect all this kind of development which is taking part in the life of the child. What NCF has to say for the preparatory. Let's see this. It says that it's going to be combination of observation and the worksheets and the formal written evaluation. Periodic summative assessment will be there to help achieve the target. So here the subjects which will be there, like language 1, language 2, and then mathematics, and it is not the, I can say the social science and science separately, but it is now clubbed as one, that is EVS. The books are already introduced in class 3. So you can see here the other things are not new to us. We already know that physical education, visual arts, theater, music, dance and movement, this was already there. But the way CBSE was, it has been arranged. So peer feedback, as I said, I'll be taking one or the other important aspect of the, you can say the report card here. Peer feedback, like, as the child grows, they become more intelligent. They also become competitive. But in that time also, we have to let the child understand the importance. Plus, he should be able to give a honest feedback of his or her friend. So, where are the areas which are going to be covered, like talking about his feelings, expressing their feelings, and the see. If there are certain problems, and they always talk to their friends, they always express this to the friends, which can be taken care. So again, I have marked here, like let's see the important part of the preparatory report card. Just a minute, I'll just share. It's already open. Okay, so here I am with the okay, this is foundational I have. I'll just open this. Okay, fine. We are talking about preparatory now. So I'll open that. All the report cards are available on the website. You can go through that. This is there, and I'll directly reach to page 24 here also. There is little change from what we saw in foundational. Let it open. A little, it is, you will understand that it is showing little kind of a progress from what we saw in the foundational. I think I missed opening up, so it's opening and little taking time. Okay, so here reaching directly to page 24. Okay, see here, there's a little difference in the card. And one thing, like foundational stage, every year once the report card is going to be filled, like Balvatika 1, once it will be filled, Balvatika 2 again filled. So 5 years, same report card is going to be continued. But once and it will be then submitted to the DigiLocker, to the CBSE. Once the child goes to preparatory level, that will enter the class 3, this report card, the format is going to be utilized. So just see that we can see here the change is there. And now as you can see, the little progress is also there. The hand has been made where he is self-analyzing and telling about what all he knows and what he or she has learned. So here, that part, self-assessment, which is very important. This becomes the peer feedback. Here, the child may or may not require the help of the teacher. They will be themselves able to fill the details. Again here, this is a parent feedback, what all resources they have. And here, again, this is like whatever lackings are, because whatever plus thing is there, then we are happy. But if there are some lackings in the child, certain areas which will be recognized where the child needs maybe help, extra help from outside, or maybe the counseling can do. So all those can be tracked here with the help of this kind of report card. This is the objective. But always like as a teacher, when we are interacting with the child and when we are actually into preparing of the report card, we can always give the feedback. Again here, the same table is there. This will remain same for all the, you can say, levels of education. Here, the stream, mountain, sky, and awareness, sensitivity, and creativity. So any, can say, activity which we take up for assessing a particular curriculum goal and check the competency, then this rubric sheet can be utilized. And proper record has to be maintained at all the levels. Now here, like talking about the performance level progress, because this is 3 to 5, where the languages have been introduced, where the subjects have been introduced. So this sheet is a new part C, which is new for this level. And this again will be kind of similar for 3 to 5. This is it. 6 to 8, a little different, but kind of similar will be there. So I'll just stop here and then take you back to my PPT. And check the next level of progress. Again, I have to share. Coming back to my PPT, yes, I'll share this. Fine. So this we have done. Now talking about the middle stage, where the child is 11 to 14, duration is 3 years, and the grades here are 6, 7, and 8. So for this now, sorry, I'm very sorry. Yes. Now let's see what NCF has to say on the assessment in the middle stage. That it is going to be formal and explicit. Here, the formal test and examination are going to play very important. Though this informal, you can say, test and keeping the record is still very important. The qualitative aspect is also very important. They will not be taken out. they will be part of the system. So subjects for assessment will be like language 1, language 2. Now here the EBS has been broken into science and social science, and we have continued with physical education, visual art, theatre, music and dance. So understanding the curriculum goal, competency and learning outcome, what they are in different levels of the education. Like curriculum, put an example here, the curriculum goal. Children develop effective communication skill for day-to-day interaction in 2 languages. This is what is curriculum goal. Now, what is the competency for this? Like the child is able to converse fluently, he is able to take the instruction correctly, and he is able to perform and do things better correctly, because once he understands, then only he will be able to can say implement it correctly. So what is the learning outcome? That child is able to converse in daily life in that particular language which has been given in proper way. So talking about this is one very important thing which is coming from 3 and then onwards. So here the self-realization is very important, that now the child is self-aware what he wants in life is not as a kind of inhibited here. It is going to be like introduced here. So what he is able to learn, what he thinks about the teacher, like what he is expect from the teacher, everything is going to be taken as a record. So again, I'll just take a break here, talking about the report card online. Let's check that. This is for the middle school. Now I'll be sharing the report card. So here I am again taking to the middle school now. See this again taking to 24 page, because that is where the important part of the report card begins. Just a minute. I think we will be just talking about the third activity for the next level of education, the report card and its specification. What does it ask for? Let's go through that. So here I'll have to stop this again, and I will have to go back to that report card. Just give me a minute. We were talking about, yes, middle school and the report card. Yeah, coming to this, the page number 24, I think it has opened the other page. See, this part A, this is the part A, which is talking about the general information, the basic information which the teacher can fill from the registration format. This report card will continue for 6, 7 and 8. So this is the first page, which is the basic. Then a little modification or say improvisation, as you can see, it talks about like now the child is more knowledgeable, more informed. He is having, can say all kind of development, physically, emotionally, he is better than what he was in the previous classes. So here, academic goal. Again, this is very important, that again, the teacher, but still we understand that he or she may require the help of the teacher to set academic goal. But it has been, why it has been introduced here, understanding that once the child thinks and then he writes, maybe he is going to be much more clearer about the goal he sets at this point of time in his life. He will get more focused towards the studies or towards a goal. It's not only like becoming or achieving a doctor engineer, but whatever he or she wishes to become in life, they can continue with that. So that is the major objective here. Then, say talking about excuse me, the learnings. Okay, then for my teacher, that what kind of faith he is showing, he or she is showing in the teacher, the learning, the what he has learned. So everything it can be compared also whether the child is saying something new he has learned. That all can be tracked here. Then talking about, see, this is something new, with my ambition, which is much more clearer, that what he will do to achieve his ambition, to achieve his goal. This is something which is an add-on from the previous report cards, right? So you can see in detail. Again here, the parents' feedback, you can see the number of resources have increased here from what they were in previous classes. Mobile phone, computer, internet, which is one of the basic requirement for education nowadays. So that also has been taken care here, introduced here. Then talking about the languages which are now introduced here. Then talking about the extra co-curricular activities, which is going to be introduced here. And then there is a little change in the rubric sheet also, like literary awareness, literary sensitivity, literary creativity, which accordingly one will have to sit with. It is not a task of one teacher, but a group should sit and they should then decide how the rubrics have to be framed. Obviously, you can always take the help of available literature on the net. There are AI also nowadays who are helping doing all this rubric work also. But the prompt has to be very clear that what you expect. Sorry. And this is the my progress grid, the child who is filling on my own. Here they will understand the what was expected and what level they have reached. The peer feedback and also the self-assessment. Obviously, once the child writes about his or her achievement or learning outcomes, they will understand better that how they can further improve upon the requirements or the expectations. So this is it. Now we go back to the PPT again to check what is there for the next level of education. I'll just come back to the PPT. I'm sorry, I'm having cough. Okay, so I'm sharing this.
And sip some water.
Yeah, sure. It's done. Actually, I took one cocktail. That is, I guess, not helping much. Thank you so much for the concern. Okay, so we go ahead with this, the slideshow again, and from the current slide, I should start. So this we did, now taking up to the next level. That is now the secondary stage. Now, very interesting to note here that secondary stage, earlier we had, if you remember, the secondary stage and then senior secondary stage. But now what CBSE is saying that this will be like 9, 10, 11, 12 is going to be clubbed as secondary stage, which is of duration 4 years. And the grades which are there included are class 9, 10, 11, and 12. So in this case, lot of work yet has to be done. As you can see, 9, 10, a little bit clarity is there that they are saying that 3 languages policy will be there. 2 language should be a native language. Third can be a foreign. And then the subjects, the formal subjects, which already they have been doing. But one more new subject which has been introduced is environmental education. So I think we can very well understand why this requirement of environmental education has cropped up. That is talking about the environment change. We can see the recent havoc which is there in Uttarakhand and different parts of the country. So how children will get aware about it? What kind of, you can say, preparedness can be shown? Because it is not only like if the environment is changing and there's some havoc, we cannot have a say, much say over it. But what we can do is the preparedness, the kind of preparedness we should have during and after the natural havoc. How does it come in if we are environmentally aware? So, what is the curriculum structure here as per the NEP 2020? That is for grade 9 and 10, and then 11 and 12. That is, they say that we have to ensure that the whatever the middle stage they have learned, it should have a kind of continuity. It should not be a break. Like completely, it's the 6 to 8 should not play like an island. It should be a continuity of what they have learned, and the kind of built up is there. So that is required. Here again, the languages have been introduced, and as you can see, the subjects. Importantly, the computational thinking. I'm so sorry. It's coming up. And then the well-being, which is something new which has been added. Like once PE is there, PE we know earlier how it was taken up. The children used to go out, play in the field. But nowadays, PE is also has a formal examination. That is where they get aware about how to physically be fit, and if there is some care, some mishap which happens during the play, what kind of care they have to take. So all this is being introduced now. Talking about 11th and 12th, the choices are available regarding the subjects. It is not going to be a very, you can say, fixed stream of humanities, say science or commerce, but there is a kind of, you can say, a breakthrough, or you can say a commerce child can always go and study history. A science child can always go and study economics. So this kind of freedom is going to be available. Already some can say freedom or liberty is available to the children in these classes. But in proper way, it is still to be taken up. So this report card, actually I have mentioned here, but for the secondary school, the report card has not been uploaded by the CBSE. So we will not be able to check it. What is the expectation? But let us see like what we can conclude from this, you can say the HPC report card, and what kind of discussion we had, that parents, peers, and self-assessment is very important in this report card, which is depending upon the classes they are in, different can say methods can be taken up, like painting, drawing, play work, toy making at the lower classes, inquiry based learning in the higher classes, student portfolios, quizzes, all can be taken in the middle also. Group work and role play can be taken in segment wise. I feel in like it can be taken up in every part of the study, every level of the study. But only the thing is, depending upon their age, understanding, and intellect, we will have to design this group work. So that there will be a different progress indicators which will be available, which are available, and as I mentioned, that already curriculum goals, competencies have been mentioned by CBSE in their curriculum, which is every year printed. So that can be seen, but how that has to be achieved, the learning outcome has to be achieved, that the teachers have to understand, depending upon the group of children which they have, depending upon the resources which they have around, because that also actually is a kind of freedom or a limitation for enacting your things. Then next comes, okay, so this was a kind of like what I had to say. But still, I would like to have a kind of discussion. I'll stop the share now. And we can further, like if you have some queries, friends, you can ask and we can go ahead with that.